Hi students, very good morning all. Welcome back to Sri Ramanuja Vidya Mandir. Dear students, already we have started a new topic, that is why do we fall ill. Now I am going to give the continuation lectures of the same topic. So before going to start the today's lecture, I want to give a small review about the previous class. Students, present we are discussing about the health and its importance. Okay, so what are the importance we have learned regarding the health in the previous class means? So this health, maintenance of the proper health condition, it increases our efficiency for doing work. This increases the productivity and brings economic prosperity, and it makes the man happy and cheerful. Healthy persons can give up proper attention to other in the family, so it gives a condition for our purposeful existence in this world. And the last one is it also increases the longevity of the people and reduces the infant and maternal mortality. So we need to take care of the health. So in what ways? It increases our lifespan, and it can increase our potentiality of work and all. So we can be very dedicated to our work, and not only to the work and to our family, right? So next, like health is influenced by n number of factors in the nature. So what are those different things? So general socio-economic, cultural, environmental conditions, all these may influence or affects the health of individual. So in addition, so agriculture and food productions, education, work environment, living and working conditions, unemployment, water sanitations, healthcare services, housing, all these different things will affect the health of the particular individual. Why? What is the reason? Let us take the example of agriculture and the food productions. See, if the man is unable to take the imbalanced food, so obviously he'll become so weak, and he'll become less immune power, so he may not have the resistant power to the diseases. So agriculture, if the production is not well, if the supply is not well, so what will happen? Obviously it affects the food habits of the individual. That is the first reason. And education, if the people are not having the proper awareness regarding the balanced diet about the nutrients and all, so obviously they may not consume all the materials. See students, intake of imbalanced diet is very much important for the maintenance of the good health conditions. Why? What do you mean by balanced diet? So whatever the meal we are taking, so it should contain all the types of things in required proportions. What are those? Proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins, fats, minerals, all these students. So proteins means which are going to provide, so they'll construct our body, right? And let us see the what fat and carbohydrates, they are going to provide the energy. And the next one is vitamins. So if we'll have the more and more vitamins, so we can have the resistance power against some kind of diseases. So if I want to maintain a proper good health condition, I need to give equal priority for the consumption of all the nutrients. Understand? So in addition, we should take even the dietary fiber also. Understand? Roughages are the, I think you may have learned in the lower classes. What do you mean by roughages? So dietary fiber is nothing but the roughage. Intake of fiber is also important, so for the easy movement of the undigested food in the large intestine as well as the colon, right? And and in this way different factors will affect the health of the individual, not only health, and so living and the working conditions, work environment. See, now we are in the winter season. Okay, so very low temperatures we need to face. If it is hot, high temperatures, it may also affects the health of the individual. So if the suddenly temperatures become low, means it will also affects the temperature. So already we are suffering with the problem of COVID-19. So when the temperatures are too cool, so obviously so the virus can increase its population. Okay, and living and work conditions, stress, the wherever you are working, so maximum in the software field, in the medical field, so people are used to have like doctors and the nurses, always they used to be the stressful work, and it may also affects the mental condition or the physical health of the individual, right? Then unemployment. So if the person is not having the income source, proper income source, how can we have the good material, good food material, and how he can provide the same to their dependents? So all will affect the mental health as well as the physical. It's a kind of disturbance, right? And so water and the sanitation, if you will not have the proper and purified water, obviously so water contaminated diseases or diarrhea all will affect the person. And healthcare services, housing. So in this way all these different issues or the different things will affect the individual health. So the reason is the students, so as we know the value of the health now, so we must be very clear in everything. Understand? So maintenance of the surroundings. Okay, sanitation is very important. All the time we need to take care of the house, at the same time our surroundings also. So we should not encourage the outward drainages and all. We should not throw the dust on the roads. Okay, so we being a public, we should be so responsible in maintenance of the cleanly surroundings. Okay, right. And next, what do you mean by the disease? So the word dis means without, ease means comfort. Some kind of discomfort may fears the particular individual. This is nothing but the disease, right? So we have seen the differences between healthy and the disease free. So it is the state of complete physical, mental, social well-being, whereas disease free means it is the state of absence of discomfort or derangement. And the second point is that, students, so it depends upon the both individual as well as the physical and the social environment. So healthy conditions of the particular, it depends upon the two things. It depends upon the physical, individual as well as the physical and social environment. So disease free, it is related to the individual only. It is only concerned to the individual, right? A healthy individual is disease free as well. A disease free individual can be healthy or unhealthy, right? So, and we have seen the what you mean by symptoms. Symptoms means the evidence of the presence of the disease. So by observing the symptoms only, we can conclude that particular person is suffering with so and so disease. So when you'll go, if you have any some discomfort in your health, immediately you'll go and approach a doctor. So in first visit, what he'll ask, he used to ask some questions. He used to pose some questions. So how are you now? How you are feeling now? So since what days you are suffering with this? So you're paining where and where? So like that, he used to ask some questions. So by knowing the answers for all these questions, he came to a conclusion that so and so person is suffering with the so and so disease, right? So how a person can say simply by the symptoms. Okay, right? Signs. And so let us say, and signs are the definite indications of the disease. So there is a small difference is there between the symptom as well as the sign, and it is on the basis of symptoms that physicians search for definite clues or signs of disease and sometimes goes for laboratory tests to confirm the disease. Of course, so some disease will be diagnosed by the oral interaction. So the doctor will come to a conclusion that particular person is suffering with so and so disease. But there are some diseases, they may require some clinical evidences. So that is the reason, so doctors used to suggest some blood test, urine test and the scans and all. Okay, by having these reports, so they can clearly say that so you are suffering with so and so diseases. Okay, right. So let me give the differences between the symptoms and the signs. Symptoms indicates the presence of disease, whereas it provides information about the presence of particular disease. Symptoms are these are the indicates the presence of disease. This will provides information about the disease, and it is the collective evidence of number of disease of body particular part, and it is distinct for different diseases. Right. So students, it includes following conditions. So I said no, a lot of things will influence the healthy conditions of the individual, like unhealthy conditions, improper public services, poverty and genetic differences. So in the genetic differences we have seen the acute and the chronic diseases. Actually, what do you mean by acute, students? So disease that lasts for only short period of time, that is acute. If the disease lasts for long period of time, that is the chronic. Students, you should know the clarity between the acute as well as the chronic diseases. So acute disease example, so cold, cough, influenza, typhoid, whereas chronic we can say the examples as tuberculosis, cancer, diabetes and the kidney stones. Right, let us see, already we have seen the differences between acute as well as the chronic. Right, next, so first let us start what you mean by hemophilia. Hemophilia is a rare genetic disorder in which blood does not clot normally. A hemophilic person bleeds for longer period of time after an injury. It is usually occurs in the males. Actually, students, in our blood cells we have 3 different types of cells. I said, right? What are those, students? RBC means red blood cells, and WBC white blood cells, and third type of cells we have, that is platelets. Right, and RBC is also known as erythrocytes. The other name of RBC is erythrocytes. The other name of WBC is leukocytes. Leukocytes. And the other name of platelets is thrombocytes, students. Okay. And as you all know that the role of RBC, so this RBC, as it is having the hemoglobin pigment which helps in the process of transfer of oxygen, the carbon dioxide in our body. And WBC means it mainly helps for the taking care of the protection. So it offers immune response to the body. And the platelets means they'll be taking care of the blood clotting. Blood clotting. So what I want to say, students, actually hemophilia is the disorder, one of the disorder where person does not which blood does not clot here normally. So whenever actually we were injured, say any wounds were suddenly happened, obviously there we can observe that leakage of the blood from the individual from the particular wound or a whatever injured happens. So if this continuous, the continuous blood leakage will be continuous, means what will happen? Due to the high loss of the blood, the person may dies. Right. So we naturally have some immune system we have some mechanism in our body. So that is blood clotting. So it avoids the excess leakage of the blood from the individual. So if for example, if suddenly you will met with an accident, you got injured on your knee. So obviously you could observe that some leakage of the initial means within a fraction of second, within some few minutes, we can observe that leakage of the blood from the particular opening. So immediately, so within a half an hour or within few minutes, we can see other thing that, so there's a blood clotted over there, so it doesn't allows the leakage of the blood to out of the body. So it is the self protecting system what we have in our body, that is taking care by the like thrombocytes in our body. But in the case of hemophilic patient, what will happen? A hemophilic person bleeds for longer period of time after injury. It is usually occurs in the males. So due to some abnormality, what will happen? That person, so whenever he'll met with an accident, there will be a continuous flow of the blood. So obviously there is no blood clotting process. So due to some abnormality, it may be from genetic abnormality or from some physical abnormality. So due to this abnormality, so that person may lose the efficiency of the blood clotting. So in such case, what will happen? Excess leakage of the blood we could observe in the individual. Sometimes if it continues for longer time, the person may dies. Understand? See, types of diseases. Just now just now I said the introduction about the diseases, symptoms and the signs I have explained, and now I'm going to explain about the different types of the diseases. So diseases are broadly classified into two categories. Actually, what are those, students? First, congenital diseases and the acquired diseases. First, let us see what you mean by congenital diseases. So, there are some diseases which are present since the birth. From the time of the birth, we used to have some problem in our body. That is nothing but the congenital. For instance, hole in our heart of infant, they are caused by some genetic abnormalities or metabolic disorders or malfunction of the organs. So, generally, first, there are some people, some children used to suffer with the problem of heart problems. They'll be having the holes in their heart. So it is the due to the genetic abnormality, due to the metabolic disorders, due to malfunctioning of the organ, some children used to have this type of problems. All these problems we can say that congenital diseases. Acquired means the name itself giving some clue that, so there are some diseases which may occur after the birth during the lifetime. So based on their ability or inability to spread from one individual to another. Acquired diseases are of two types. Actually, acquired means so after the birth in our lifetime we may get. So example like malaria, diarrhea and all. So this acquired diseases are of different types. Let us see what are those. So there may be first infectious or non-infectious, and see, there are two types. Just now I said no, this acquired may be two types. They are infectious and non-infectious. Let us see what are infectious diseases and what are non-infectious diseases. First, see, let us discuss about the infectious diseases. We can also call this as a communicable diseases. So, communicable diseases. Communicable diseases. The disease which can transmit from what? From diseased person to the healthy person by means of infectious agents is called infectious or communicable disease. For example, tuberculosis and measles, malaria. Actually, there are, see, he is the deceased person. Okay. And the circle, you think that it's the deceased person. See, if disease can transmit or disease can transfer from one individual to the second healthy individual, healthy person, now what will happen? So that type of disease are called communicable diseases. Communicable diseases or infectious diseases. If disease is transferred by means of transfer of agents such as like bacteria, microorganisms, like some chemical substance there, by means of so many things there's a chance of spread of diseases from the diseased person to the healthy person is communicable and infectious diseases. Example, what we can say, tuberculosis, typhoid and malaria. So all these are said to be different examples of communicable diseases. So there is a chance of spread of disease from the deceased person to the second healthy person. So this is nothing but the infectious or communicable diseases. So present we are suffering with the COVID-19 coronavirus. No, it is the communicable disease. So it is the pandemic. It is suffering entire world, right? Right. So let us see non-infectious or non-communicable diseases. So the disease which cannot be transmitted from affected individual to the healthy person are called non-individual or communicable diseases. Okay. For example, high blood pressure or cancer, allergy, obesity, etc. All these are the different examples for non-communicable, so which may not spread from one person to other person. There is no chance of spreading of diseases from one individual, means already the person was affected, right? So from the patient to the other new individual, so there is no scope of transfer of disease, right? So those are known as non-infectious or non-communicable. In the previous case what you have seen, they are communicable diseases. There is a chance of spread of disease from one individual to other individual. That is the only difference, students. Let us see the examples. High blood pressure, cancer, allergy and obesity. So all these are the different diseases which cannot spread from one person to other person. Obesity, can it spread? No. Cancer also. So it is not at all communicable disease. It is non-communicable disease. Mostly we can say that cancer is simply by means of hereditary or by means of pollution used to get. Right. And other example, blood pressure. Right. And see, non-infectious disease are not caused by any pathogen or living organism. What is mean by pathogen, students? So the agent which is going to cause disease, it may be a microorganism, it may be some chemical substance, even some impurities also may affect the health of the person, and there are mostly due to the internal or intrinsic non-infectious causes. For example, BP is there, high blood pressure. It is caused due to the lack of exercises and excess weight similarly. So it depends upon the only individual. Okay, so it cannot spread from one person. For example, if your father is suffer with the blood pressure, it can't transfer, it cannot spread to your mother. Understand? It's individual. And so cancer is caused by means of genetic abnormalities. See, cancer is going to caused by means of virus. It is the viral disease, students. Cancer is caused by the cancer viruses. So, but even though it cannot spread from one person to other person. Now we are suffering with the COVID-19. It is also one of the viral diseases, but it is communicable diseases. It can spread from one person to other person, right? But when come to the case of cancer, it is not like that. It's simply completely basing, it is heredity, right? Next. Let us see the differences between the communicable diseases and non-communicable diseases. 7 minutes, ma'am. Right. Like first, let us see the what you mean by infectious. Just now I said infectious means communicable. Non-infectious means non-communicable. See, it can be transmitted from deceased person to the healthy person. Just now I said. So it can be transmitted from deceased person to the healthy persons. Okay. So we must be very, very particular or very, very conscious about these diseases. If anyone is suffering with so and so disease, we must be very careful. Understand? Next, it cannot be, second one, so it cannot be transmitted. So what's second point? They are caused by attack of pathogen or external agents. Actually, what do you mean by pathogen? They'll be asked this question, students. Pathogen means disease causing agent. Disease causing agent. It may be a microorganism, viruses, bacteria, fungi, all will come, right? So they are caused by factors other than the living pathogens, means caused by internal factors such as deficiency of the nutrients and the genetic abnormality. Deficiency of the nutrients, if you won't take the balanced diet, so obviously we may suffer with some kind of diseases. Okay, lack of protein due to lack of carbohydrates, lack of vitamins and all, we used to get some kind of diseases. Just now I said vitamins will give the immunity to the particular individual. If you take more and more vitamin rich food materials, obviously our body will attain the immune potentiality, right? Next, transmission of disease occurs through direct contact or some medium, right? And here see, by means of waterborne diseases, foodborne and airborne diseases, and here transmission of disease by contact is absent. So obviously by touching there is no spread of disease in the case of non-communicable diseases. And example here, malaria, cholera, tuberculosis we have discussed, and here diabetes, cancer, obesity in the non-infectious diseases, right? So I hope you all understood the concepts, and so I'm going to conclude this with this mind map, students. First, disease can be divided into two things: congenital and the acquired. So congenital means, students, it is from the birth. Okay, it is by means of heredity. It is the disease which will get from our parents, grandparents, foreparents, like that. See here, it is acquired. So after the birth, in our lifetime, there is a chance of getting a disease, that is acquired disease. Here now, acquired diseases of what? Again two types: communicable and non-communicable. So spread from infected person to the other healthy person. Non-communicable means it is not at all spreads from one person to the other person, right? So let us see the non-communicable diseases again. How many types? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types. So what are those? Degenerative, caused due to the malfunctioning of the vital body organs. For example, kidney failure, right? Kidney can't work properly, so filtration, urine filtration, everything will be stops over there. So generally the person may suffer with the kidney problems. Okay, degenerative diseases, malfunctioning of the particular organ, right? Deficiency diseases caused due to the lack of nutrients. For example, if the person is not having the good proteins, obviously he'll become so weak and lean. Okay, so that is deficiency diseases. And so marasmus and kwashiorkor are the examples of deficiency diseases. In the children's we can observe. Allergies caused due to the hypersensitivity of the body to certain foreign substances. So we used to have some kind of allergies, pollen grain, dust allergies, some shampoos, okay, some detergent allergies we used to have, right? Cancer caused due to the uncontrolled growth of cells tissues. See, actually just now I said no, cancer is caused by the virus, students, right? So whenever virus enters in our body, it immediately multiplies its number, right? So caused the uncontrolled growth of cells. For example, if you have some lymphocytes in our body, that we can observe the drastic change in the number of the lymphocytes. Okay, for example, normal levels are, for example, 3 lakh. So in the case of cancer patient, we can observe that more than 5 lakh, 6 lakh, like that. So by counting this number in the clinical analysis, so doctors can easily come to a conclusion that the person suffering with so and so diseases by seeing the levels only. Understand? So when you observe any scan report, any blood, any clinical reports, you just observe the normal levels and the present levels what possessed by the particular person. So by that variation, so easily doctors can easily suggest came to a conclusion that the person suffering with so and so diseases. Like other disease caused due to the various physical agents or by any other reason, pollution. Okay, and so caused due to the various physical agents or any other reasons, the fifth type of non-communicable disease. So this is the whole mind map, students. So only one session I'll give students. You just practice this mind map. Definitely you can understand the concept. Okay, but don't by heart. Once practice it for minimum 2 or 3 types, definitely you can get the concept. Understand, students? Okay. The next class I'm going to continue the next topic. So I hope you all understood my class. Thank you all. Thank you so much.